This is not a drill, everyone. We have some extremely important news to share with you today. Are you ready? Millions of Americans on Social Security are expected to get $2,000 stimulus checks from the federal government. Certain benefits of Supplemental Security Income, SSI, or Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Yes, this Friday, May 26th, is the day that the eagerly anticipated $22,000 payments will finally arrive in bank accounts and mailboxes. Welcome to Wealth Boss, your go-to source for the most recent information on Social Security and the fourth stimulus check specifically designed for senior citizens in the United States, SSI, SSDI, and VIA beneficiaries. I hope everyone is doing well. Let's get started right away. I know that many of you have been looking forward to this moment as household budgets have been severely strained by the ongoing high cost of living. The Biden White House acknowledges the serious, given the extreme and ongoing inflation that vulnerable seniors and the disabled have been subjected to, as well as the fact that the costs of basic necessities like food, housing, utilities, and healthcare are not expected to decline anytime soon. These individuals have made the decision to take action. The entire cost of this stimulus program is an astounding $128 billion, but officials contend that it's a necessary investment to shield our country's most vulnerable populations from further hardship, desperation, and destroyed retirements. After all, these are the same people who have been hit the hardest by the economic downturn. The first group affected by the relentless cost of living crisis is Social Security retirement beneficiaries. If you are currently receiving Social Security old age benefits, you are eligible for the full $22,000 stimulus payment with no income restrictions or checks. This includes married couples who collect retirement benefits together as well as individual retirees. Additionally, there are no age restrictions. If you are over 62 and receiving Social Security retirement benefits, you will receive the full $2,000 amount, regardless of any additional income sources or side jobs you may have. Survivor beneficiaries receive payments based on a deceased spouse's earnings record. With one exception, seniors who requested for early retirement at age 62 but then rejoined the workforce, their benefit payments were temporarily halted while they accrued further credits. This is a relatively tiny portion of beneficiaries. However, SSI and SSDI disability recipients come next. In addition, all current recipients of Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Supplemental Security Income, SSI, which pay benefits to disabled people and those with long-term disabilities, SSI has strict income limits to qualify, will receive stimulus payments or housing arrangements. Like with Social Security retirement, the only exclusions for SSDI recipients are for those who have extra income sources outside of the disability insurance benefit itself. Similarly, both adults and children receiving SSI will get the full $2,000 payout. Therefore, to summarize, the stimulus covers adult SSI disability recipients, adult SSDI recipients, and disabled children receiving SSI or SSDI dependent benefits. Beneficiaries, whose earnings temporarily suspended their SSDI payments by returning to work, those currently employed and not receiving payments, do not qualify for a stimulus check. The third major qualifying group consists of people who are currently receiving benefits and specific disability compensation from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. These people are eligible via recipients who are scheduled to receive the $2,000 stimulus, such as veterans over 65 who served in combat and are receiving VAA disability compensation with specific qualifying conditions. Rating recipients of VA individual unemployment benefits. Some surviving spouses and dependent children receive benefits. However, not all recipients of disability compensation are covered by the VO. Only ratings at the following levels of disability will be eligible for the stimulus: complete and permanent impairment rating, particular combination, 100% disability ratings. Additionally, those who receive TDIUT total disability, individual unemployability benefits, which effectively target the highest disability tiers, do not qualify for the $2,000 stimulus checks issued through the VIA system for any other disability ratings, ranging from 0% to 90%. There are essentially no income limits or phase-out periods for VIA recipients. Instead, unlike previous pandemic stimulus efforts that phased out payments for higher-income Americans through reduced amounts and income caps, if you meet the ratings thresholds and compensation levels, you get the full stimulus payment. The only income restrictions that apply to these new $2,000 checks are for those receiving Supplemental Security Income, SSI, which caps total income eligibility at $1,670 for single people and $3,846 for married couples. Recipients of SSD, pensions, and disability compensation, on the other hand, will not be affected. In contrast to what some higher earners encountered with previous pandemic relief, wealthy retirees with significant outside investment income are still eligible to receive the maximum $2,000 stimulus per individual or married household if they receive Social Security disability or qualify based on advantage. The reasoning behind this decision is that regardless of their total net worth or retirement savings, rising inflation affects all seniors and the disabled on fixed entitlement income. However, some have strongly criticized this move, arguing that it sends needless money to wealthy households at a time when there's a need to limit overall spending. Opponents contend that in order to give lower-class and middle-class recipients more benefits, the payments need to have been much more carefully targeted based on financial need and contained income limits. Officials from the administration respond that testing would have resulted in significant delays and overhead problems while yet excluding a large number of elderly people who were barely making ends meet. Because of the inflation crisis, they chose to provide blanket payments to all federal beneficiaries based only on their participation in qualified programs. But when exactly can they receive their money? People anticipate receiving paper checks or having these $2,000 payments appear in their bank accounts. For Social Security Retirement and Disability SSDI beneficiaries, the procedure will be somewhat protracted and staggered, depending on which government agency administers your benefits. The IRS will work in conjunction with the first wave of direct deposit payments will be made by the Social Security Administration on Friday, May 26th. This weekend, around 25 million electronic payments should be deposited into the bank accounts of seniors. Recipients must exercise a little more patience while receiving their monthly check by normal mail because it is the first paper. The IRS states that anyone waiting on a physical check could anticipate receiving their stimulus money sometime between the beginning of June and the end of that month. Checks won't likely start being sent out until early June. Receivers of Supplementary Security Income under the SSI Disability Program. The program will follow a similar schedule. Most eligible individuals should get their $2,000 hit accounts by direct deposit on Friday, the 26th, and tangible checks will be mailed to those who qualify for both Social Security Retirement, SSDI, and Supplementary Security Income 4 weeks later. They will only be given a single stimulus payment of $2,000. Due to the intricacy of the agency's many benefits and disability compensation programs, payments to qualified veterans and VIA beneficiaries are taking a little longer than expected. According to VIA, recipients should anticipate starting to seeing the first wave of $2,000 payments arrive either by mail check or direct deposit, based on the physical address they have on file, sometime between May 31st and June 7th. However, based on their estimates, the entire process of distributing payments across all the programs covered could take until July. Of course, any program of this size that distributes over 60 million payments to various federal systems and databases is likely to have problems or malfunctions. If that occurs and you meet all the requirements for Social Security retirement, there may be instances where someone is overlooked, even if they qualify for the stimulus. If you qualify for SSDI or SSI disability benefits but have not received your payment, remain calm. Although the specifics of this procedure have not been released, the government has promised that there will be a procedure in place for people to obtain their stimulus checks in the event that they were mistakenly excluded. Completed, but depending on which program you're enrolled in, you might need to submit documentation and proof of eligibility to the IRS, Social Security Administration, or VIA. After your case is examined and your eligibility is confirmed, you should then get your $2,000 stimulus payment. In retrospect, I understand that some of you may be concerned about how these stimulus checks might affect inflation rates and the overall economy.